Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 8, the final season. So, of course, this week we have the spin-off, or the backdoor pilot for the potential spin-off of Green Arrow and the Canaries. That's tomorrow from when this video is going out. So obviously, we'll see how that plays out. There's still no official confirmation as whether that's going forward or not. I'm assuming they're going to wait until the episode numbers are out, which means it's on edge. Like the thing is, a CW show, or the CW channel, sorry, is pretty much full for next season. So they probably only have one slot left, and I guess they're deciding whether they chuck Green Arrow and the Canaries in there or a potential new IP. So it's up to them, I guess. But we'll have to wait until after the episode airs, I guess. But we did get promo images for the series finale, and yes, I can't believe I'm saying that, the series finale. It's been coming, so I don't know why it feels so uneasy and a bit weird saying that, but it just feels weird saying that. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it, because Arrow's been my favourite show, even when it's been, let's be honest, quite shite. I'm just going to, there's one expletive for the month in the video, but when it's been quite bad, I've still, it's still been a show that I've been looking forward to watch, I guess. So we got promo images to go over. We're going to go over them, and they're interesting. That's all I can say. They're very, very interesting. So I guess spoiler alert, because I'm surprised they actually released some of these photos. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various opinions in the comment section down below, and I guess theories based off what's going on in this video from these promo images. Let me know all of them in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, not new to the channel, of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, I guess if you're new to the channel as well, you can subscribe. But if you're going to enjoy the video, why not drop a like on it to show support and I guess excitement for what's coming next week with this series finale. So the first promo image is just Dinah, Diggle, and Renee, and I guess it's just the remaining Team Arrow bunch, I guess you could say. But I guess it maybe going to still be working. I guess, well, then again, Dinah's in the Green Arrow and the Canary. So I don't even know necessarily what the premise of this photo is, whether they just go back to the Arrow bunker. It seems a bit bare, as if maybe they're emptying it, but I'm not too sure what was initially in that background bit behind Dinah. But yeah, just a photo of them. Now, this is probably one of the most interesting ones that shows a timeline change, unless this is a flashback, and that's actually Sarah Lance in the Queen Mansion. So this could be a flashback, which would, negate any of this theorizing. But if it's not, and this is present day, that means the Queen Mansion is back, because it was burned down in, not the show, it was actually burned down in a canonized spin-off comic by a villain. So that's why the Queen Mansion was burned down, if you never knew. So this is present day, it's back, and there's things that link in later in these promo images that, well, it suggests that maybe it never led to the point where it would have got burned down. But then we have Sarah, Diggle, and Felicity. Felicity's back. Obviously, we knew Felicity was back in this finale. There's talk that she was only there for a couple of days, so I don't know how necessarily, like, how much of this finale she's actually in. I guess she wouldn't want to be out and about in Star City or around Star City too much. But then again, did Oliver change the situation with Felicity, where she wouldn't have to be in hiding with Mia? That's going to be interesting to see if like Oliver did anything to change Felicity's outcome and what she went about doing. Whether she can, go about and be like a free woman, if you want to call it, without the fear of, being assassinated and being taken out. So that'll be interesting, because there's a couple things here that do insinuate that Oliver changed something. But this could be one thing. You think he would have done that to his wife? Like, why wouldn't he have? But here's just another photo of Sarah and Felicity. I'm guessing they're looking at maybe something dedicated to Oliver, because Sarah's sort of like holding Felicity's arm, unless Mia is there. This could be Mia in the Arrow bunker. So Felicity's seeing the older version of Mia for the first time. Obviously, Sarah and Diggle have already met her. So this could just be them. This could just be Felicity meeting the older version of her daughter for the first time. Based on her reaction, I guess that could be the case. And seeing it's in the Arrow bunker as well, that could be the case as well. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, this is a nice reunion. It's been something that people have wanted all season. We never got. And that's Roy and Thea again. So we have Thea meeting with Roy again. Obviously, this might be an awkward altercation if nothing has changed from the timeline from what we saw earlier this season with Arrow. But it'd be cool to see if we see them work together and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just good to see Roy back. But with Roy, another interesting thing is that the next promo image we have of him, he's actually got his mechanical arm. So obviously in the last episode of our last proper episode of Arrow we had, Roy lost his arm on Lian Yu, so now he has his mechanical arm. It's sort of similar, I guess, to maybe like Oliver's, if you want to call it. It's not as advanced. I don't think it's as good as Oliver's, but I guess it's around the same thing. But then again, Oliver's one that we saw a couple of seasons ago in Legends was from the future. This is from present day, so it'd be like a prototype version of that, I guess. But it's cool to see Rory with that mechanical arm and him back in the Arsenal suit, and it'd be interesting to see if that mechanical arm gives him some advantages and stuff. Maybe like supercharged bows or supercharged arrows pulled back on the bow. Now we do get like a wide shot here of, I guess, everyone in the bunker. Now Mia isn't in this shot, which might indicate that maybe Mia isn't in the bunker, or Felicity doesn't encounter Mia, but maybe Mia comes in after this and the promo images are out of order. Who knows? But one of the cool things we see in here is, of course, we have Laurel and Lila, two people we haven't seen yet, but of course we see Rory Regan, aka Ragman. I guess Curtis is there as well, but we haven't seen Rory for a while, so it's cool that he's back. I wonder if there's an actual reason he comes back, or if it's just for Oliver, or maybe things changed and the timeline did change. Maybe Rory, none of that stuff ever happened to him. Maybe he was still connected to Team Arrow in some way, shape, or form. But Rory's there, which is pretty cool. And there's another shot here, which just shows a bit of a close-up there. I am intrigued to see if there's like an actual villain in this episode. So everyone outside of Oliver teams up to take down a villain. It'd be cool if it's like a team of like past villains. So like Prometheus, Damien Dark, and all these people come back. Like, I know people want Deathstroke back. I don't see that happening, unfortunately, because I think there was clashes with commitments and stuff where Manu Bennett couldn't come back. But it'd be interesting to see if there is an actual villain, because of course we do see like Roy and Thea suited up and doing stuff. So I don't know, do you think there'll be a villain for this episode, or do you think they'll just have like a fun little crime fighting sequences like the last like proper present day Arrow fight scene? Let me know. Now this is like when things get interesting. So as you can see, we have Thea, we've already seen her. Then we see Moira, William, young William, and Emiko Queen. Two of these characters are dead, and now they're alive in present day at presumably Oliver's funeral. What the hell is going on? Well, my theory around this, and I think this is somewhat along the lines, it might be like changed in like some way or different in some way, shape or form, but I think this is like the general thing they're probably going to go for, and that's that Oliver pretty much made everyone alive that died as a consequence of being involved with him. So Moira died at the hands of Slade, and that was due to like being involved with Oliver, obviously, and Emiko the same way. Like Oliver's, I guess, well, not in direct link with Oliver, but a part of like that whole journey with his father and stuff. Emiko played a part in that, and that sort of led to the path she went down and eventually her death and everything like that. So it's cool to see these two characters back. We knew Moira was coming back, I'm pretty sure, but no one knew that Emiko was back. The fact that like C. Shimuka wasn't seen in Vancouver and stuff like this, I think was crazy. Whether this is her only scene will be interesting. But she is wearing like an arrow sort of necklace, so I'd like to think that maybe, not necessarily like when like we saw in the flashbacks when she was young, maybe she joined the Queen family, but maybe like, you know, that scene when we see her like go to her father with a plan and stuff last season, then maybe she gets brought into the family at that point or something like that. So she's been connected to the Queen family for a decent amount of time, not since she was really young, but maybe like the past, 6, 7, 8 years or something like that. That'd be interesting. Or maybe they just made that in Arrow season 7, the path was changed and she never got killed and she did, just go back to a bit of a normal life, if you want to call it. I'm interested to see what they do, because obviously there's some changes here due to Crisis and what Oliver did. But it brings up the question, if Emiko's alive, why isn't she in the spin-off? You know what I mean? Like, Emiko actually held the title of Green Arrow in the comics, in like a future sort of storyline as well. So I don't know, it's a bit confusing if they always had the intention to bring Emiko back alive. I don't know. But anyway, she's alive. Maybe cool if we see her in that spin-off if it does get picked up. But yeah, Moira and Emiko back alive. But this is another interesting thing. Mia is back in present day. This is sort of like the thing I was connecting to, with like Felicity in the bunker, sort of looking like shocked, I guess you could say, with Sarah and Diggle. We have Lila, Diggle, and Felicity holding hands. It's like they're gonna go skipping or in the rain or something. I don't know if that's a good thing to do at a funeral or not. But then we have Mia holding something. No idea what she'd be holding. Maybe a picture of her dad or something. But the thing that this sort of, I guess, confirms is that, because this would most likely, in like a continuity sort of thing, take place after the spin-off pilot, that Mia, Laurel, and Dinah, like we saw Laurel and Dinah earlier in other photos, that these three come back. So it seems like maybe that spin-off, they have the intention for it to have that pilot in the future, but then at the end they travel back in time and it was always going to be set in present day, which I think makes sense if it's just them three. I think if they start bringing back like William, Connor Hawke, John Diggle Jr., Zoe, Sarah Diggle from the future and stuff into present day, that's when it becomes an issue, because especially with the cases of like William, Sarah, and Connor, their present day versions back here are like, you know, a bit older, especially with William in his teenage years. So it's a bit risky to have them all back here. With Mia, she's a baby, so it doesn't really matter if she's back here for a few years. So it'd be interesting to see what they do in that spin-off and how they set up, I guess, what would happen in the proper series if it does get picked up. But Mia is back here attending her father's funeral and everything like that. So yeah, and there's another photo here of Mia and Felicity standing next to each other, once again with Mia holding something. I think it's just a tissue. Might just be a tissue, could be something of more significance. I have no idea, we'll have to wait and see. But the final image is of Barry. Barry Allen turns up at the funeral. I think this is something that a decent amount of people thought would be the case. Now, there's two sort of things in this finale. There's the funeral, which is actually at the graveyard, or actually, I think it's actually in the Queen mansion, maybe at the back, because that's where all the Queen family members are buried, so I think that's where Oliver would be buried as well. But also there's like a statue memorial thing where apparently, don't quote me on this is from like trying to like decipher some really like blurry photos and even some word from what apparently people saw, but apparently the memorial, all the heroes that show up that are heroes, some like Felicity might be, then she won't be suited up or anything, but all the heroes that show up there will be in their suits. So it'll be like Barry in his Flash suit, Kara as Supergirl, Batwoman as Kate Kane as Batwoman, because it'll be a Green Arrow statue. So I think the significance is that they'll all be in their superhero outfits and suits and stuff like that. Don't quote me on that, but apparently that's what's going to be in that scene. So that'd be a really cool scene if they go about doing that. But expect more cameos in a smaller degree. I think Barry's probably going to have like the largest cameo from a person from another show, because I think he's going to be in multiple scenes. But yeah, cool to have that. But yeah guys, that's all to go over. Those are the promo images. This is my last ever video on promo images for Arrow. That's just crazy. Obviously I'll do a trailer breakdown for the final episode. But that's crazy. Like seriously, like I can't believe Arrow's coming to an end. Whew, I wonder if I'll cry in the finale. Does anyone think I'll cry in the finale? If you think I will, let me know in the comments. But of course, if you did enjoy the video, sorry, and you know, just show your support for some of the last ever Arrow videos, drop a like on the video to show that support, and I guess memorial, if you want to call it, or memories. Yeah, let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.